Hello there guys, my name is Jay or the A and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers, where today we're taking a look at one of my own builds, and this is something that I built before I went on holiday, and I've kind of tweaked it, refined it a little bit since I've been back, and I want to show you guys and release it to the workshop because I think it's at a point where, you know, I can't really do much else with it unless I wanted to make another one elsewhere. So this is Aura Outpost 611. This is like a general operations base, so this is where you know you'd be able to have like a large amount of people living in one area, and essentially you can send expeditions, and you've got drone capabilities, so you've actually got 2 hangars. You then also have a like a parking bay, so you can have cars and everything else, and it's like an all-in-one base that, you know, if you guys did want to say do a survival in this on this planet, you could do, because this would provide all the facilities to do that. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll take you through the 4 elements really of the exterior build, and then we'll go inside and show you everything else. So essentially what we've got on the outside is we have this this large base structure that is set into the floor. So essentially a lot of it's underground, which is good because I wanted to give it that sort of it was originally on land and then the snow sort of washed over it, and, you know, just make it look a bit more atmospheric and whatever. And I think it looks really cool, and it blends in nicely with the white colour, and there are a few blue colours in this build as well. It's just all interior really. So yeah, so that's the main structure with this huge solar array here. We have like 8 solar panels here, so essentially these rotate horizontally as well as vertically, so you can actually like maneuver them to where the sun is, which I think is a really good idea, and I actually like the way that platform works, and it works really well, and yeah, it's just generally nice. And we've also got some oxygen air vents here, which are essentially depressurizing and pulling oxygen out of this and into the base, and also into the storage containers, which, if we segue on, are over here. So essentially we've got this separate building, which, instead of having a roof of snow, I actually put another solar panel on, because I figured why not. It's perfect really to put it there. You can drive over it and whatever else, and, you know, no bother. But essentially I kind of got some inspiration from Hoth in Star Wars, where you sort of got that sort of, you know, the hangar sort of mounted into the floor, and I like this. It's kind of like a mini version, but essentially this is your oxygen storage. So you have 6 tanks here that essentially just keep all your oxygen in, and we've then got some oxygen generators here as well. You could have oxygen, well, you could have hydrogen tanks, but the problem is these hydrogen tanks are too big for this building, and it'd have to be a bigger structure to do that. There may be some capabilities of doing that if you guys want to do that, but I'm kind of happy with just having the oxygen, because I don't think a lot of the ships you need would be reliant on hydrogen. They'd primarily be atmospheric. So yeah, we've also got some batteries in here which just help out, you know, power the base at night, which is always a good thing, because of course solar power doesn't last all the time, because of course the sun goes down. So yeah, we then also got this lovely little parking bay for drones, and that you could just park a drone out here if you really needed to, or if you didn't have space within the hangar, which is also over here. We have 2 hangar doors which open separately, so you can open one or close one or whatever, and I've tried to disguise them as much as possible, but unfortunately the airtight hangar doors have a lovely strip of yellow in them, which looks really nice and goes with the colour scheme of Space Engineers, but isn't really good for camouflage. So I've kind of had to keep them as they are, because it's just, you know, I didn't really want to add a mod in just to have cooler looking doors. I think these look cool enough, to be honest, and you can walk on them and you can climb out of here, and it does the purpose that it needs to do, so I'm quite happy with that. So let us head on inside through the side door, because we have the main entrance down there. Well, we have the main entrance here. We then also have the garage door, as well as a side door around the garage door, so I'll show you that in a little bit, but we'll go through the proper entrance first. So as we head on through, there is no airlock in here, because of course the atmosphere is the same inside as it is out. So essentially you just walk through here. You've got like a lovely open room here, which has the generator in. This is the reactor that sits in the middle. This is the only reactor on the base, and then we've got some assemblers down there, as well as some batteries, just because at night time this thing could potentially lose power depending on what you're doing, and if you don't have the reactor running. So yeah, we've got this lovely little landing, which if you walk across and go back up the stairs, we'll go round and then back, and we'll sort of go back on ourselves a little bit, and come into the main sort of base structure, I guess. This is like where a lot of things would happen. So you've got a lot of storage space here for just parts and things for, say, ships and whatever else. You then also have a med bay with seats and plants that you can, you can just sit in here and wait to be seen to. And then we have some lovely chairs just, below the skylight, so you can sort of look out and see what the hell's going on. And also I've tried to make it so you can see the solar panels from wherever you are, because I love looking up at them. It just looks gorgeous. And then we have this lovely meeting room, which essentially is for expeditions and whatever. You can get your team in here, talk to them, brief them, do whatever, and it's a nice isolated room that allows you to talk in privacy and whatever. And it's quite nice. I like the fact that I went with glass walls, because the normal walls obviously are one block thick, so I wouldn't have a lot of space in here. But also they kind of allow a lot of the light to flow through and make it a lot more open plan than what it would be if I used normal blocks. So yeah, it's a really nice room to be in, to be honest. It's very open, very airy, I think, and it's just very clean as well. I think that's one of the things with the colour scheme with the blue and the white. It is just very clinical. So let's head into the command sort of deck, and essentially you've got 2 desks here that just monitor communications, anything else. Any people that are coming towards the base you can chat to and allow them in or block them out or whatever. And yeah, it's just a very nice area to look at, and you can see the solar panels from. So if you were to adjust them, which you can do, you would essentially be looking upward over here while you're pushing buttons and adjusting it slightly and whatever. And I think it just looks really nice. And I've added red light in here because of course they're night lights for when it does go dark. And yeah, so let's move on to the other parts of the base. So if I just quickly fly around here and drop down to where we once were, we can then go down a staircase, which essentially takes us to the bottom level. This is the very bottom level of the base. So we've got some storage here, which is all hooked up to the conveyors. We have a blast furnace for any iron that you need, because of course iron is one of the most used resources in the game, that and uranium. And essentially you'd need iron constantly if you're repairing ships or whatever, or building new structures and whatever else. So I've put a blast furnace in just to increase the capabilities and the functionality of this place. We've then also got 2 assemblers that sit over here. As I've said, we've got efficiency modules on there so they don't take up as much power. And then we have a refinery over in the garage. Now the refinery does actually have modules strapped to it. Yeah, I did put some modules on, I think. Yeah, the modules should be sitting on the back end of this. They're out of the way, and again, they're all efficiency, so you can't really run out of power, or it's harder to run out of power in this craft. We then also have some more separate cargo containers which aren't hooked up. Those are just sitting there next to the refinery, so you can dump everything in there. You do have to manually move material through some areas, but it does the job, and I quite like it sitting here with all the other shelves for components. And yeah, this is the garage. It's just a very big open space for, you can probably fit like 3 or 4 cars in here maybe, depending on the size of the car obviously, and depending on if you can actually fit it through the door here. But the door's got a very nice ramp, and I've kind of made it friendly to all cars, I guess. I mean, really your only height constraint is from there to there, but you could fit a decent size buggy or something in through here, or an exploration vehicle. And then as you can see, there is a door on the side. This is just in case you did need to get through here for whatever reason. It does have 2 locks on, because this would probably fill up with snow a lot easier than the other area. So I had to put like 2 doors on, because if this door were to be sort of over encumbered, you wouldn't want, it's just like a fail-safe, I guess. Nothing really to do with the pressurization or anything. It's purely just a fail-safe in case that door fails because of snow or something. You never know. Some thing that doesn't actually happen in Space Engineers, I guess. So let's move on. So we've only got like 2 more areas really to look at properly. We have like a nice sleeping area here, which we have 6 beds. I'm kind of working this way. You'd have maybe 6 people sleeping, 6 people awake, and sort of have them on and off. And then we have some sort of gym apparatus here, sitting here nicely. We then also have some light switches, so you can turn the lights on and off. I did actually have some stairs in here originally, and that button is actually broken because it doesn't actually exist anymore. So I did go with this weird plan, and then mods were okay again, because this was at the time when they updated and broke all the mods because everything looked black. So essentially I tried to make do with some mods at the time, and then I've changed it to how I wanted it to look in the first place. We then have some more storage, again lots and lots of storage, because storage is pretty crucial for a base like this. And then as we walk down this large corridor, which is nicely lit up on the sides, we have the drone bay, which contains one drone that essentially would be being built down here with the shelving units here with all parts on. We also have some cryo chambers just in case you do need to put people in cryostasis. So essentially this drone would be working on, so you'd be tinkering with this or whatever. This is the Pascal loader, and then up above we actually have two more drones. We have the Pascal cargo, the C version, and then we also have the P version, which is the passenger version. And these two actually fit nicely through these doors because it was kind of made that way, because that was kind of a thing I was doing a little bit in the background. I made these in conjunction with this, and I was releasing them at two separate times because it just makes a bit more sense. I didn't want to really over encumber the video with too much. So yeah, we've got more cryostasis up here, so we can put a lot of people in cryostasis if needed, and then of course we can open the doors, which you do have opening facilities as well as turning them on and off, because you may want to lock them for whatever reason. So yeah, that's essentially the base. I think what I'll do is I'll jump into the passenger version of the Pascal and fly this thing out of here. So I actually need to press the button on the front to turn it on. There we go. We got our oh, there we go. I did just hit that because I actually had the inertia dampers turned off. But yeah, this is essentially the base. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed building it, and I think I might build a few more of these in the future because they're really nice to build. They're quite relaxing, to be honest, because it's just playing around with a voxel a lot of the time, and it's just really chilled out. So I'm going to park this now, or attempt to park if it wants to slow down enough. There we go, and we'll just drop her down on this landing pad here that I said was for the drones, and we will make sure it fits the drone. And there we go. We'll turn her off, and then we'll drop down, and there you go. So you've got a lovely parking spot there. You can come and jump back on that whenever you need to if you're using it for whatever reason. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, go and check out the build. It is on the Steam Workshop now. Link will be in the description below, and I will see you guys later. Peace!